In the heart of Egypt, where the golden sands burn beneath an endless sun, lies a valley carved from legend and silence. The Valley of the Kings, the resting place of Egypt's most powerful rulers. Beneath its sandstone cliffs sleep men who believed they would rise again as gods, their bodies preserved for eternity, their souls bound to the stars. But among the countless tombs hidden beneath the desert, there is one whose story stands apart. A tomb sealed not only by stone, but by fear itself. A resting place said to belong to a pharaoh who wielded powers beyond death. And when that tomb was opened, the world would never be the same. This is the story of the Pharaoh's curse, the tomb that should never have been opened. At the turn of the 20th century, Egypt had become the beating heart of archaeological ambition. Scholars, explorers, and fortune seekers from across Europe flooded the desert in search of glory. They were driven by more than science. They were driven by obsession. Every new discovery was a race against time, fame, and mortality itself. Among them was a man whose name would soon echo through history: Howard Carter. A quiet, determined archaeologist, Carter had spent years digging beneath the scorching heat of the Theban cliffs, searching for something most believed did not exist: the untouched tomb of a forgotten pharaoh, a ruler lost to time and erased from record. Carter's benefactor, Lord Carnarvon, was a wealthy English nobleman with a taste for adventure. Together they formed an unlikely alliance, a man of means and a man of purpose, united by a single dream: to uncover Egypt's greatest secret. For years they searched in vain. The sands yielded fragments of pottery, broken statues, and empty chambers, but no tomb. Each failure drained their resources and their patience. By 1922, Carnarvon was ready to end the expedition. But Carter begged for one last season, just one more chance. In November of that year, his persistence was rewarded. A young water boy stumbled upon a buried step carved into the rock. Beneath it lay a staircase leading down into darkness. Carter's pulse quickened. He knew what it meant. They had found something untouched. Day after day, the team cleared rubble until they reached a sealed doorway covered in ancient hieroglyphs. Carter brushed the dust away and stared at the name etched into the plaster: Neb-Kha-Ra, the Lord of the Hidden Sun. Carter froze. He had never seen the name before. Ancient texts had spoken of a ruler who defied the gods, who sought immortality not through worship but through sorcery. They said he was buried in secrecy, his memory erased to protect the world from his wrath. The doorway bore an inscription that made even the hardened workers hesitate. It read, "Death shall come on swift wings to those who disturb the peace of the king." Carter ignored it. To him, this was history calling. He ordered the seal broken. As the chisels cracked the final plaster, a rush of stale air escaped, the breath of 4,000 years. Carter peered through the small opening, holding a candle. When his eyes adjusted, he saw what no living man had seen since antiquity: gold, jewels, statues of falcons, thrones, chariots, treasures scattered like stars across the chamber. In the center stood a black stone sarcophagus, carved with the serene face of the forgotten pharaoh. Carter whispered the words that would become immortal. Yes, wonderful things. The world celebrated. The discovery was hailed as the greatest archaeological triumph in history. Yet beneath the excitement, unease began to spread. Within weeks of entering the tomb, strange events began to unfold. Lord Carnarvon, the expedition's financier, was bitten on the cheek by a mosquito. The small wound became infected. Within days, he was dead. At the exact moment of his death, lights across Cairo flickered and went dark. Back in Luxor, Carter's servant reported hearing a loud scream, followed by the sound of glass shattering. When he rushed into the tent, he found Carter's pet canary, dead, strangled by a cobra. Egypt's symbol of divine vengeance. The newspapers seized the story. "The curse of the Pharaoh's tomb," screamed the headlines. Reporters claimed Carnarvon's death had been foretold. Locals whispered that the guards had struck down the desecrators. Then, more deaths followed. One of Carter's assistants collapsed from sudden fever. A photographer who documented the tomb died mysteriously while developing his images in London. A secretary was found lifeless in his apartment, his face twisted in terror. Each time, the story grew darker. Each time, the legend grew stronger. Howard Carter dismissed it all as coincidence. He refused to believe in curses. Yet in his diary, his words began to change. "We hear footsteps at night," he wrote. "There is a coldness in the air that should not be. Sometimes, I feel we are being watched." Workers began to abandon the site. They swore they saw a figure standing at the entrance of the tomb, tall, wrapped in linen, glowing faintly in the moonlight, only to vanish when approached. Fear consumed the camp. Carter pressed on. He believed in evidence, not superstition. But as the months passed, even he began to look over his shoulder. The treasures of Neb-Kha-Ra were shipped to museums across Europe, but strange accidents seemed to follow them. Transport crates falling from cranes, museum workers dying unexpectedly, priceless relics shattering without cause. Egyptian elders warned that the pharaoh's soul had been disturbed. They said Neb-Kha-Ra was not a man like other rulers. He had been a priest-king, a master of forbidden rituals. Ancient texts called him the flame that does not die. It was said that before his death, he performed rites from the darkest chapters of the Book of the Dead. Spells meant not to guide his soul into the afterlife, but to chain it there, guarding his tomb for eternity. He believed that death itself could be commanded. His priests, bound by fear, obeyed. When the rituals were complete, they sealed the tomb and took their own lives to ensure the secret would never be spoken. For millennia, Neb-Kha-Ra's name was erased from monuments, his memory condemned to oblivion, until 1922, when that name was spoken once more. The years following the discovery only deepened the mystery. Scientists proposed rational explanations: ancient bacteria, poisonous air, psychological suggestion. Others pointed out that Carter himself lived for many years after the excavation. Yet the coincidences would not stop. Every principal member of the original expedition met an untimely death within 7 years. One by one, they succumbed to fever, accidents, or despair. In 1924, a lightning storm struck the Valley of the Kings. The bolt hit directly above the tomb's entrance, collapsing the path and sealing it once again beneath the rock. It was as though the desert had decided to reclaim what was hers. Decades later, when historians revisited Carter's notes, they found fragments never published. Scribbled lines, unfinished thoughts, sentences that trailed off. In one margin, written faintly in pencil, were the words, "He watches still." To this day, the name Neb-Kha-Ra remains an enigma. No other records of his reign have ever been found. Some scholars believe he may have been erased intentionally, condemned as a heretic for defying the gods. Others whisper that his story was hidden because it was too dangerous to remember. Modern archaeologists continue to debate the curse. They point to scientific reasons for the deaths: infection, stress, coincidence. Yet the aura of dread remains. Tourists who visit the tomb of Neb-Kha-Ra speak of sudden chills, flickering lights, the feeling of unseen eyes following them through the corridors. Perhaps it is imagination, or perhaps something still lingers there, a remnant of a soul that refuses to sleep. Howard Carter died quietly in 1939. Among his papers, one final note was discovered in a sealed envelope. It read, I have seen the face of eternity. Some truths should remain buried. The tomb of Neb-Kha-Ra remains sealed today, hidden beneath layers of stone and sand. Few dare to approach it. The desert winds have long since covered its entrance, as though Egypt herself has chosen to forget. But the story endures, because it speaks to something ancient within us, the endless human hunger to uncover what lies beyond our reach, to look upon the face of the past, even when it looks back. The Pharaoh's curse may be superstition, or it may be something more. Maybe it is not a punishment, but a warning, a message whispered across the ages, reminding us that the line between knowledge and hubris is thin and dangerous. For in our quest to conquer death, we often awaken it. And perhaps, in the silent tombs beneath the sands, some kings still wait, not for resurrection, but for vengeance, because some doors were never meant to be opened.